Today in Get the Facts, as we approach the final days of 2023, our fact-checking partners at the nonpartisan PolitiFact are out with their annual Lie of the Year. And joining us from PolitiFact is Katie Sanders. Katie, great to see you as always. Want to share with our viewers this right here, if we could pull it up for them. Because Katie, this year's lie wasn't so much one instance, but rather PolitiFact says it is Robert F. Kennedy Jr.'s campaign of conspiracy theories. You're right. Kennedy's political following is built on a movement that seeks to legitimize conspiracy theories. So really curious here, Katie, how did the PolitiFact team come to the determination that the lie of the year was in fact kind of a litany of lies that what you're describing as a campaign of false statements?
Well, when it came to RFK Jr.'s statements, it was hard to choose one over the other. When we reviewed his interviews and his speeches over the year, we found some pretty common themes. And even though he says he's not campaigning on vaccines, his very dubious and debunked views on vaccines and public health came up a lot. So even though he likes to talk more about the middle class and how he wants to limit U.S. involvement in foreign wars, if you really listen to him, when he gets into the details, he speaks freely and openly and really insistently about some false claims, even some conspiracy theories. And it's just been a drumbeat in the background of this pre-election year. And so we chose a medley of his statements because they do carry outsized significance. And so that is why our editors at PolitiFact chose the campaign conspiracy theories of RFK Jr. as the lie of the year.
You point out that he really in some ways came to prominence during COVID and then the kind of vaccine backlash in some ways. I want to share with our viewers what one expert in your piece said, that the pandemic produced a new generation of anti-vaxxers who had either not been prominent before or who were not really anti-vax before, but none of them had the same cultural cachet that comes with being a Kennedy that RFK has. So did COVID really, as you guys were researching this, is that really where he's found his political base in some ways?
He's had a really long career, and I think a lot of people do know him by his name, his family's famous name. But a lot of people might remember him from the 1990s and the 80s when he really made a name for himself as an environmentalist. He took a lot of companies and agencies to court for pollution in waterways and a lot of other environmental causes. But in the early 2000s, he started to shift into vaccines. He wrote a very infamous piece in 2005 alleging a conspiracy at the government about mercury in vaccines and a link to autism that has been widely and conclusively debunked. But he still holds on to that in interviews that he gives today. And so this acceptance of, not accepting the truth is definitely part of our lie of the year selection. But COVID-19 and his outspokenness about that, and as well as his organization, Children's Health Defense, against lockdowns, against any kind of vaccine mandate. They mobilized a very significant following in the U.S. online and expanded globally. And their own financial documents just show that.
And the question is, will this resonate come November? You point out in the piece, Kennedy's polling between 16 to 22% of respondents in polling if it's a three-way matchup. So we shall see where this goes. Katie Sanders, thanks as always for joining us today.
Thanks for having me.